Hello guys, the Chill here. The two timer is back with another new video. Today is about a guide on how to earn currency, more targeted towards beginner to like amateur players that are looking for ways such as league starting, how to earn currency, and also throughout the league there's many ways to earn currency. So if you watch many videos out there on how to earn consistent chaos per hour or whatever exalts per hour, most of them will say that is to play maps. Run maps, get a dump tap, of course, is a very important step on earning big currency. But that's not about all. It's more about how do you get to the stage where you're able to farm raid maps consistently, even when you're league starting or you're a new player. It's not that easy, to be honest. So the problem here is more as like the journey on how you upgrade your character from white maps to yellow to red maps. Many players, I saw them just farming white maps for months, trying to get lucky drops, maybe like a few exalts or items that are worth quite a bit, sell it, upgrade their character. I don't think that's a very sufficient way to do things like trying to get lucky drops than upgrading your character. There are many other ways that I'll be teaching you on how to properly upgrade your character so that you're able to run and upgrade your character more, better, and consistently. So if you guys actually play finish Act 10, right, you will know that Kitara minus 60% of your elemental resistance, and that's the way GG decide to balance the game around so that you don't stack a shit ton of damage and effect, so that you don't trivialize the content, even though we are actually already destroying the content right now. Anyway, so it's incredibly important to cap your resistance, because you are getting 75% mitigation, and if you don't cap, monsters can hit you for a shit ton of damage and you're just gonna keep dying over and over again. You're never going to level up to upgrade your character. You're always going to start at the same level or the same maps. In order to even get close to what yellow tier maps or even the later white maps, it's incredibly important to cap your resistance so that you're able to complete those content without dying. And once you're able to do so, you can focus more towards your damage, your DPS. There's no reason not to cap your elemental resistance nowadays. It's incredibly easy to cap your resistance at 75%. There are many things that you can do. You have your belt with jewel sockets that you can put in a jewel that just have elemental resistance mod. You have nodes on the skill tree that give resistance. You have jewels and rings, like jewels, rings, amulet that give a lot of resistance, and they are relatively cheap for a few chaos. And now in 3.10 Delirium League, you actually have cluster jewels, large, medium, and small. All of them you're able to get resistance on them. So it's incredibly important and easy to cap your resistance, and there's no excuse not to cap them. So after capping your resistance, important thing is to get enough HP and energy shield so that even through mitigation you don't get one shot. Even with high damage, it's still very important to get enough HP, because HP is ultimately the most important thing that determines whether you die or you don't. And HP and energy shield varies from builds to builds. You have to look at what build you're running, what's the end goal character, how much HP they have, how much level are you far away from, and is it because of your gear or something else that makes you lack those amount of HP, and are you able to reach the end goal amount of HP, and how is the survivability like. There are many different things that adds up, and doesn't mean the more HP the more survivability there is. Obviously characters like a Juggernaut, Hair of Agony, you're gonna have a lot of HP because you're playing Muruda. Your skill tree is basically just taking a bunch of HP nodes and stacking HP and physical damage mitigation. So obviously if you're playing characters like Muruda, easy time to get 5k after Act 10. But you are playing a character like Ranger, usually you may have like 3 or 4k HP at the end of your Act 10. But all in all, HP resistance are important, but that's not all about the defenses. There are many layers of defenses that I'd like to talk about today that will really help with your mapping in endgame. it's important to use guard skills such as your Molten Shell, Immortal Core or Steel Skin. And how do you know which one should you use? So there's a very important indicator to which one you should use. So if you are able to generate consistent amount of endurance charge, I really recommend Immortal Core. Even though it got nerfed, it's still a really good guard skill. But if you have a good amount of armor with a character, Molten Shell is a really nice guard skill. If you are playing characters like that got to do with mana, the new Arcane Cloak will help in getting some mitigation in. If you are playing a character with no armor, no endurance charge generation, and not playing a mana build, Steel Skin is a nice little layer of defense. But most of the time, if you are playing those characters, you are probably playing Ranger or something that is got to do with face acrobatic or just evasion based or just full block. So that is another layer of defense of your own build. These are just some of the more simple and general guard skills that you can use to add defense to a character, but that doesn't mean all characters will use it, because it really varies from build to build. So now that we are done with the defenses part of the video, I want to talk a bit more about the offense, and that has to do with my socket part of the video. So firstly, I want to talk about getting a 5-link either armor or weapon. It's incredibly important to get a 5-link early on, and usually the 5-link will stay with me even up to raid tier maps before I upgrade to a 6-link, which costs a lot. A 5-link is really easy to get, and there are several ways you can do so. One of my most favorite method that I like to get a 5-link with is through buying a 5-link armor plate from other players and then crafting it with an essence. Usually I'm playing a melee build, so I always use an essence of greed to guarantee a high life mod, and usually you are able to get a few resistance mod on it, 1 or 2, and then use a crafting bench to craft something that you need, like more HP, more armor, or just resistance on it. So the next method that you can craft a 5-link with is using the Prophecy Jeweler Touch. If you manage to get a decent item that you want a 5-link, go ahead and use the Jeweler Touch. Well, Jeweler Touch costs a bit more, and I only recommend this method if you manage to get like a decent 2-hander or just a body armor that you want to craft on a 5-link. Early on for League Start, I really like to use Essence to craft because they guarantee a really nice mod that I want, and also they are really cheap, and you have a lot of them because from Act 1 to Act 10 you're able to meet a couple of them. In white maps you're able to get them really commonly, and even if you don't, you can buy them for only a few chaos. Depends on how strong of the essence do you want. If you want the best, it can cost more. Somewhat mid-range is usually like 5 chaos, 4 chaos. So compared to fossil crafting, right, fossil crafting is more expensive because it can roll mods, and block out mods. That's a good thing, but usually fossil crafting is more towards items that are stronger, not just purely for HP or resistance. Resistance and HP easy to get, just get essence, guarantee, boom, easy, right? But fossil is usually when I craft something really specific that essence doesn't get, and you want to craft something insane, you use fossil. But early on, fossil is expensive. You can delve and get them, but sometimes you roll bad tiers and have to roll again. So really recommend essence crafting a lot. Next is I want to show you guys on how to properly utilize your gem sockets, because some people, players, they like to follow other builds that are good, but different items and like different gems, I see them, many of them have like empty gem sockets. Those empty gem sockets can be linked to use something strong, right? For example, an empty socket can put in a Vow Haste to proc it whenever you need the increased evasion. When you feel like you're dying, you can proc it. Or you can put in a Vow Haste for more damage when you're fighting bosses to proc it. Things like that. And one of the more important things is also like supporting your secondary skill. When I mean secondary skill, is more like your ancestral totem or like your utility skills. If you are playing Flame Dash, you can link it to Arcane Search to get the extra spell damage. If you are playing Leap Slam, you can link it to melee stun on Endurance Charge. Endurance Charge or melee stun, you can link it to faster attack. You can link it to Blood Magic for better quality of life. And also things like your guard skill, you can link it to increase the duration and things like that. There's a lot of things that you can link to fully utilize the gem socket, and this will really help in your game. So basically now you're able to do white maps pretty nice and up to yellow maps to farm currency, and maybe even low tier red maps depending on your build. Once you actually get more currency, upgrade to a 6 link, upgrade a weapon, you can craft it or buy one, depends, and it really varies on how you craft a weapon. I'm not gonna tell you how to craft a specific weapon because each build requires different ways to craft the weapon. Some weapons iteration spam, some with 4 souls, so it really depends and it's up to you, and probably it's better to check with the person posting the build or just check online on the best way to craft the item that you want. So I hope the guide helps you into getting your white maps, yellow maps, then into your late game on how to properly get your currency flowing, getting those exalts per hour. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. Otherwise, see you on the next one.